time. You don't have to think that intuition is a gift. You can work for it, and it can become a part of your life. When intuition happens beyond your intellect, your whole being is integrated. You are at your peak. When you are at your peak, something opens. You may call it a revelation or an intuition or anything. Yogis have again and again said that it is a science. If you can tune yourself to this intuition or this energy which is continuously available in your being, you can use this in your regular life. Intuition is the energy of your being. When this pure energy starts coming out from the unconscious level, it also heals you physically, mentally, and emotionally. Apart from healing, it reduces stress and helps you to take decisions spontaneously. Spontaneity has nothing to do with data that you collect. It is something to do with the way in which you process the data. The same data, the same information can be processed in many ways. Intuition is all about how you process data and how you come to the conclusion beyond your intellect. We can prepare ourselves, we can tune ourselves to this energy of intuition through techniques and methods. These techniques are what we call meditation. In the East, we use the word meditation to tune ourselves with the higher energy which is in our being, which continuously invites us again and again to experience it. Whenever you find time, just sit with yourself and observe. We are always ready to give an appointment to others, but never to ourselves. If you just sit with yourself, you can always see that some part of your being wants to express, wants to do something more. But we never give the chance or the time to that part, to that portion of our being. We are so caught up with our intellect. We think that our intellect is the ultimate. But again and again, yogis prove that something more than the intellect is possible. This meditation camp is all about how the mind works, how to unload the deeply engraved memories in our unconscious, how to prevent further loading, and how we can awaken the latent power of our being to move from instinct to intellect to intuition, so that we may live like a master and not a slave. This program will bring light into all your emotions and help you see the play of your mind. It will show you how you create the emotions for yourself and land up being a slave to them. It will show you how your emotions directly affect your well-being at the physical and the mental levels. Just take a look at this chart here. Here, you are able to see a human form with 7 markings on it. Are all of you able to see? Yes. These 7 markings on this human form are called the chakras. The chakras are the subtle energy centers of our body. They are 7 wheels of energy in our body. We don't have only one body as we think. We have 7 bodies or 7 energy bodies. I will explain the first 3 bodies now. The first body, the one in which you have come here, in which you are moving, talking and writing, this is called the Jagrat Sharira, the physical or waking body. The next body is the Sukshma Sharira, the dream body, the one that you use in your dream state. It is the body you use to travel from place to place in your dreams. In your dreams, you see yourself in various places, is it not? Sometimes you see yourself in places which you have not even seen in the waking state. Now the third body. The third body is the Karana Sharira, the causal body, which you use when you are in deep sleep. This body doesn't move. Now, the latter two bodies meet the physical body at 7 points along the length of the physical body. These 7 points are known as the chakras. There are 7 major chakras in our body. There are also a number of minor chakras, but these 7 are the major ones that are responsible for our physical and mental well-being. These chakras were discovered a long time ago during the Vedic age. In fact, in many of the spiritual chants, you will find reference to the names of these chakras very often. Today, science has proved that there is a gland located near each of these chakras and is related to that particular chakra. These 7 chakras supply energy to the glands. These 7 major chakras deeply influence our physical, emotional, and mental activities. They have great power. They are energy centers, and if they are kept in a cleansed and energized condition, they can cause us to live an ecstatic and healthy life. All our disease is only an imbalance in any one of these chakras, because our body and mind are very deeply rooted in our inner consciousness. Keeping these chakras in a healthy state, we can see a transformation happening in us at the mental and the physical levels. Let me tell you a small story. After World War I, a biplane was abandoned near a remote tribal settlement in Asia. The tribal people had never seen an aircraft in all their lives. There was a lot of excitement and commotion about it, and a big crowd gathered around it. They wondered what it might be, and each one started giving some suggestion about it. They finally concluded that since it had wheels, it must be a bullock cart. News spread in the village about the new bullock cart. There was a lot of celebration in the village, and the biplane was taken around the settlement yoked to bullocks, and it served as a bullock cart. Some weeks later, a young tribal boy who had returned from the city where he was studying saw the biplane. He got into it and looked around. He saw all the gears and mechanisms in it. He fiddled with the switches and the levers one by one. Suddenly, the engine came to life. He managed to taxi the plane around the ground for a short distance, and the villagers were shocked at what they saw. The boy had seen tractors being used and declared to the people that the biplane was not a bullock cart, but some kind of a tractor. There was great celebration once again, and the biplane started being used as a tractor. 6 months passed by, and a retired army officer came to the village. He saw the biplane being used as a tractor, and he was shocked. He told the villagers that it was not a tractor and that the plane could actually fly. They refused to believe him. The only things they had ever seen flying were birds. The army officer got into the aircraft, flew it for a short while, and then landed. The villagers were wonderstruck. Then they understood its true potential. You see, man is a wonderful mechanism that is meant to fly. But we don't know our true potentiality. We have a very limited view of ourselves. Most of us operate only as a bullock cart, at the instinct level, surrendering to our emotions. Those of us who associate ourselves with mostly external things, like say a home, a car, a profession,